and welcome to the NXT review. I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, joined by another one, Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review a show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Oh, doesn't mean that right? Oh, Ferdinand McDown, AEW Dynamite, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As said, though, joined by Michael Sidgwick, and do my eyes deceive me? Yeah, Michael have us off today, but he's doing some nice stuff for his kids and school and stuff, so we're not going to go too harsh on him. But, Sidge, what did you make of last night's NXT?
There were two things on it I quite liked.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I'm not going to spoil them.
Okay.
Well, if everything else was either mediocre or garbage, really.
I think I enjoyed this show even more on second viewing.
What?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. And then in the process of doing my notes, it's the only show every week that I go like, yeah, it's kind of a good summation of what happened. Wrestling Observer or whatever. But I want to really get nailed down what actually happened here. So I'll rewatch that again a second time.
Jesus. I tell you what, I will say there's two things on this show that I enjoyed and thought were quite good for what they were. There is an act developing on this show that under a competent booker is money. Like, transformative to NXT in terms of if these stay together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a money act. Like, I'm talking, it's a shame it's on NXT and not on the main roster. This, you could be talking like 3 years of money.
Wow.
If you think of how it could all go, 3 years of money.
I don't think I'm not sure if it's the same thing you're talking about. There was a moment during this show. I think it was
actually felt cool. This as well.
It's a moment backstage, and I was like, "That is an incredible group of men right there." But we will get to that. And yeah, I laughed, I cried. I just a roller coaster of emotions on this show, as always. I love it. It's my favorite place to be.
You cried?
Yeah. A reunion, I thought, never. We'll get to it. Let's start at the beginning of the show, because you and I, both in our sort of blurry-eyed, I was going to say stupor then, that's not the right word, is it? That implies we've been drinking all night.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Our weary morning, I've just woken up, first thing I've done is put on NXT.
Finding it harder to wake up now.
Me too.
Seriously, it's like, oh, God.
It's less bad than, like, January mornings. Like, now I'm more chipper with, like, I get home and it's still slightly light.
I think it's an age plus 2 kids thing for me.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, there was a period where, all right, okay, time for wrestling, eyes open, just awake, watch it. Now I'm, like, drifting. Drifting away.
There was certainly a time period when I'd, like, had my, like, 4-6 weeks, whatever it was, we had off for paternity. I came back and I was like, oh, I can actually, you're right, your body you just get used to it.
Yeah.
And then after about 6 months, one of the mornings, I was just like, all right, sit up in bed, get my laptop, put my little headphones in. Don't wake the missus, don't wake the baby. What? What's happening?
Yeah.
And I was like, rewatch the start of a match. I think it was from Raw about 5 times.
Honestly, when you get to 40, one of the best feelings in the world is sitting down, actually lying down. Yeah, I'll be up in an hour, darling. On the couch, just putting what you want on. Just a little bit of like, oh my God, it's only me left.
That's my problem. I've got the new thing. You've probably seen this reel because you and I are very similar, well, slightly tweaked maybe in my case, for you tabs on Instagram. But there's a bloke who's made this very funny and relatable fake advert of like, do you have a busy work-life balance of like, do you work really hard do you work hard and then get home?
Work hard. We are working on our technical skills, aren't we, of late?
Yes, absolutely. Techers, some might say.
Yeah.
So we work hard. Do you work hard and then do you go home and it's like you've got a busy family life? And it's like, do you find that you never have any time yourself? Well, why not try new, staying up too late? And that's exactly what I do. I go, it's 10 p.m., everyone's asleep. So the 2 hours that I should have spent, earlier, why not now? What's the worst that could happen? I used to go to bed past midnight all the time. 6 a.m. me, like in Interstellar. No, what are you doing?
Now, my thing is, oh, God, put something on. Nothing serious, too heavy. I've done it all. And then just like, oh, come on, baby. Come on. Just letting sleep just suffocate you with sleep. It's blissful.
I have a thing right now, and I don't know if you'll relate to this or not, but I'd love to know your thoughts on it, where, like, I have my jobs. We all have jobs,
Having too many bloody jobs.
But on a non-football night, because most of the time if there's football on, I'll watch that, and then it doesn't really matter to me who's on.
Yeah, I'm like that. Did you watch Galatasaray?
No, I saw the result afterwards, and I was like, oh.
I got the chance because I don't know, I think Charlotte was like doing some crafting or whatever, and I'm like,
Jackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did look a really good game. No, but some nights...
Double bill of footy last night. It was class.
I find sometimes, though, like, I'll do my jobs, I'll do all the stuff that needs to be done, and, Anne-Louise will put Eric down and stuff. Sometimes she'll go to bed, and it's like 9:30, 10, right? And I think, wow, I've got a window here. Even if I did like an hour and a half, I can go to bed at 11. That's still 7 hours sleep. That's more than enough for me, I'd say. What am I going to do with it? Like, I've said I'm going to play Red Dead Redemption 2 for about 5 years. I said I'm going to finish Breaking Bad. I said I'm going to, watch a new series, or maybe get back into reading. I should read more. I don't read more. I've got all these books that I asked people for Christmas, and I never bloody touch them, and da-da-da-da-da. And then I find it's 11 o'clock, and I've just been staring at reels for an hour.
Yeah.
The crushing anticipation of, like, I've got so many things that I could do.
Choice paralysis.
Yes. I'm not the only one, surely, who has that.
No, I'm the same. To the point where it's like I can't scroll. There's a reel that's better than this, because I know it's bad for my mind. Watching 10-second looped things, it can't be good for, like, just generally. And, like, so I got to the point where I was like, yeah, could watch that, not really in the mood. Oh, reel. It reached a point where I was like, I decide during the day, I'm going to watch that tonight.
That's what I should do. You're right.
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
Oh, bollocks.
You know what I haven't watched in ages? Terminator and Terminator 2. Now, you know what you're getting is good. You know you love those movies. It's been long enough now where you've probably forgotten really important plot points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to feel like, it's just time. It's just like, still rather not. I think I'd still rather watch Bundesliga 2 action or whatever.
Yeah.
Football reels.
I just put on a hate watch last night. Just, Blackpool Mansfield, is it? I'll have a bit of that, thank you very much.
What was the result?
Mansfield lost 1-0. Oh, dear.
Chesterfield won.
Come on, boys!
I saw you held on.
You get the fake vibrations in your phone. When I see we're 1-0 up into the second half, I go, like, I'm not looking at my phone, because if I check my phone, then they'll obviously concede.
Because you've had a habit of not being able to hold on to leads of late. Because I checked the Chesterfield scores.
But now, have you seen the table? All the results went our way last night. We're in the playoffs. Stop the season
now.
now.
Oh, I need that FA Cup draw, man. Newcastle versus Chesterfield. Next year.
1 day, 1 year. Anyway, what I was going to say was, we'll start at the beginning of the show, because you and I both had a vague recollection of, like, sort of half asleep. Yes, put NXT on, right? It starts. Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan. We like both of these ladies. And
Leia, shut up.
We have this, like, Booker T's on his BS again. Well, let's get into it, because I've written down both of the things that I noted he said, and I probably missed more, if I'm honest.
I've got something that Vic Joseph said as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, obviously the story of this has been Kalani Jordan continuously breaking Lola Vice's hand, and they fight immediately. They fight outside. Vice goes after Kalani Jordan as she's making her entrance, and they play up the hand injury. Vice doesn't really use strikes, or certainly doesn't use a right hand, I think it was, that was injured. And Kalani Jordan goes after the bad hand. Early on, Lola Vice hit like a reverse devil's kiss, Booker T was surprisingly unmoved.
Well, this is what I was going to make mention of. So she hits this reverse Devil's Kiss gimmick, of all people to do that, Lola Vice.
Yeah.
Of all people. He might have been on DoorDash or something, because Booker T says, Bob Kiss, nothing. Vic Joseph goes, well, Book, I'm surprised you didn't get your dick out, start jacking off and ejaculate all over your chin, because, you must have missed this, Book. Otherwise, you would...
First match, you're not paying any attention.
Vic Joseph's like, well, I can't believe you just didn't come then, Book.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said.
But don't worry, because...
He did legit... I'm obviously exaggerating for what I hope is comedic effect, but Vic Joseph did say, well, I'm surprised you contained yourself during that, Booker.
Booker Clue's like, huh?
What's that?
But don't worry, he more than made up for it, because they go out to the floor. Jordan hit a running knee into the steps and took off Lola's hand protector as we go to a break. When we come back, Lola Vice in trouble, but she drop toe holds Jordan into the ropes, and she fights back and hits like an Umaga splash style thing and a stink face basically to Kalani Jordan in the corner after. He says, "Gaging, gaging, gaging, oh yes, man." And then outside, he said, "Gaging." As I rewound it, because I was like, "What's he saying there?" Gaging. I was like, because I thought he said,
he says it. That's his catchphrase. It's like it's funny. It's like the difficult second album. Like it's a difficult. It's a difficult second album after his breakthrough debut of Stephanie Vaquer of
from the man who brought you
for the Devil's Kiss, Stephanie Vaquer. He's like, oh Christ, gigging. It's like,
and then
maybe could I just try maybe an ooh,
yeah,
maybe just mix up the moans.
Well, he then...
Instead of saying gigging.
Yeah, that's what everyone says it. They head outside, and I think Lola Vice does a little wiggle or something. Hits Kalani with something and does a little taunt or whatever. Booker goes, spicy meatball!
Yeah, I remember that now. I think he was like, he's basically... he says, I think sometimes he must say anything when he's ready to burst. He just went, it's a spicy meatball.
Poor Vic Joseph, you thinking, oh God.
The thing is, so like,
Do you think he was doing it with extra sauce last night after the back of the whole Dave Meltzer thing?
Well, this is it,
you think I'm the worst announcer.
I love how his punditry, insight, and emotion and ability to sell the combat sport that is pro wrestling was under heavy scrutiny in the wake of this year's Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards. So he's basically decided...
Pull out the big guns.
It's because I'm not going to goon. I'm going to take it seriously. When he saw the reverse Devil's Kiss, it's like, no. That was the old Booker T. I've got a point to prove. I'm going to lock in and do some goddamn pro wrestling commentary, okay? Second that Lola Vice starts shaking her ass. Gigging! Gigging!
Going to that place. Anyway, in the end, they're fighting on the outside.
Put it this way, Booker T's gooning, and this was the case for Stephanie Vaquer, overshadows. Like, that's the takeaway. Booker T can barely contain his erection at the desk, so he's now resorted to using incomprehensible sounds to barely disguise his arousal.
You're getting intimate with your partner tonight. Why don't you just drop a gigging in there? Gigging, here we go. Come on, love, fancy a gigging.
Here we go.
Fabrizio Romano. Anyway, they end up on the outside.
She only wanted this guy.
They fight on the outside. And Lola Vice goes for a spinning back fist with the injured hand.
Oh my God, this deal is at the advanced stages.
Gigging.
Gigging.
Yeah, Lola Vice go for a spinning back fist and puts her fist through that fake wall that they always have.
It was going quite well, but I'll let you finish the recap.
Gigging. Kalani Jordan tries to capitalize on this, chucks her back in, goes for a 450, but lands straight into a triangle from Lola Vice. But eventually fights out of it because Lola Vice can't wrap her hands together because of the injury. And, Kalon Jordan escaped, went after the hand, and got the submission victory.
You know what? I thought this was pretty strong. Pretty strong
Yeah, I like
in
these
terms
two.
of the unvarnished scrap. They should find more ways to limit these NXT wrestlers because it all falls in. I mean, you've got one system, one facility, the same coaches. Like, you are going to get like one sort of playbook, and this is Triple H's phrase, not mine. You're going to get homogenized action. A lot of these matches unfold with the same back and forth structure at the same pace. The moves are sold for the same amount of time, which is quite little, which is ironic considering it's meant to be the big storytelling promotion. Limiting what Lola Vice could do, like, really helped this match. They should treat these things like tests. Like, you've got the pay-per-views to go all out. Like, what happened to this business? This match benefited hugely from the fact that they honed in on one simple story thread and executed it really well. And like, there's still like Lola Vice, it's the same with Jada Parker, and to a lesser extent Blake Monroe, select others who've got that ability to really emote during their matches. So I think those two, like the struggle, the genuine animosity that Lola Vice seems to have for everyone she's in the ring with some pretty good selling in this, I thought. Seth Rollins should pay note. This is how you work a match when you're struggling through an injury. They did have to kind of ruin it by, could you not have hit the ring post? This, like, it looks like, you know, like a curved lift, a curved elevator.
Yeah.
That's like in a sort of
The Metro Center.
in the Metro Center, or like in shopping malls, and they're not the square ones. They've kind of got that curve to it.
Yeah.
That shaped bit of cardboard that exists when they need to break it. It just completely took me out of the match. So, all right, I was quite buying the hand injury there, but now it's fake because this exists. However, I will say it would have been awesome. Not awesome. That's an exaggeration. That's a Hamletian exaggeration. It would have been good, come better. God, imagine being on this podcast and taking the piss out of Booker T. I don't know where we get off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know where I do.
Yeah, but I suppose you're gooning and we're just doing, like, teen movie jokes. I'm 40 years old. If she had done that back fist, miss, crunch against the ring post or something, and then done that false finish, I would have loved it. But I was more taken aback at the false finish and like the trap from the, what you call it, the 450, than I was like into it under the belief, go on Lola Vice, because the match had already lost me a little bit with that stupid spot with the cardboard lift, the cardboard Metro Center lift. Everyone says that.
Yeah, we all say it, to be fair. Following this, we got a promo from Tony D'Angelo. What a night for him.
You might have to stop doing it in the voice.
Oh, Dark States. When you got to NXT, you targeted me. Now I got all four of you looking over your shoulder. Cutler James, I'm not surprised you were the one to step up to the plate, given your amateur wrestling background. A little bit of a callback this here. Do you remember the infamous scouting report that we had of like, Michael Sidgwick, I see you attended this school and were particularly proficient at this.
It went on like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, of course you had success on the mats at Duke, but then you got involved with the wrong crowd, and unfortunately for you, I don't care. I want to make sure the leader, Dion Lennox, is watching tonight. Oh, Dark State, you took everything from me, and starting tonight, I do the same to you. And Dark State said, Dion, good comeback, Dion. Tony's taking nothing away from us. Brilliant. You know, and you're like, I think you'll find actually you're taking nothing away.
Yeah.
Good one, pal. They're going to make him regret ever coming back to NXT.
Okay. First of all, timing on that creased me. Very, very good. However, what you are suffering is no laughing matter.
Okay.
I'm trying to like concoct this Shutter Island like scenario where you finally come to terms with and acknowledge the reality that they have very quietly gradually dropped the idea that this dude is in the mafia.
I'm not having this because I was listening to the commentary.
Well, okay, yeah, but who do you listen to, though?
It was
T or
Booker T,
or Vic Joseph?
Because Vic Joseph said...
He's a hero.
Vic Joseph said, what happens if he doesn't succeed in his strategy to, like, take back from Dark, or take out Dark State? Booker T went sleeping with the fishes.
It's like, God damn it, Book, he's not in the mafia anymore, really.
So me and Book kind of on the old same page with that one.
I'm sure at some point Vic Joseph referred to Tony D'Angelo as a hero.
Yeah.
I think they're doing this thing with Tony D where it's like, yeah.
That gangster is actually a hero.
Yeah, I think that he's not a gangster, though. Yeah. How many times do I have to tell you? They are phasing it out. They're phasing it out.
His music's different. His entrance is different.
Yeah, his music's... Yeah, I think they've realised you can't have a mafia guy who kills people on the main roster and this dude can't be on NXT forever, so we're trying to phase him out.
I get it. I 100% get what you're saying, by the way. But, like, why can't you have a mafia guy on the main roster?
And
like,
if you can have a wrestler who's going to survive 2 weeks in a box...
Yeah.
You like a box tease, I was thinking, weren't you?
Yeah, anything like that. I mean, he's Mr. Gabbo, isn't he? He's
I'm saying, like a tease of a box.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's half the fun. You know, see like the little, scrolls through on the little thumbnails and stuff, and you're like, what the hell's going on there? I'll stick around and find out. Joe Hendry jumps Ricky Saints in the parking lot. We'll get to them in a second. And then our boy Shiloh Hill, what a night for him as well. He gets interviewed. His mind's racing. That old toothless aggression setting in, he says. But he's done his research.
Can't keep calling it that.
I know. Not my words, his words.
Yeah.
He's done his research on Ethan Page.
Still think Taker's just thought of the pun. Not like... he's probably parked it somewhere in his head. Because obviously, like, toothless aggression in the early, mid-2000s, it's a phrase that got bandied about, and he wouldn't use it anymore, you know. And I think he's just...
Where he's like, I feel like I've heard this before.
Yeah, and then, you know, when you, like, think... You ever come up with something and thought, oh, man, I've heard that before. But he doesn't want to admit that to himself, and everyone's so scared of take that they don't want to say, oh, you know, it's actually kind of the worst thing to...
Yeah, you can't be saying that, pal.
Yeah, it's kind of the worst thing to think you came up with and then forgot, and then it's just this awkwardness now.
But yeah, he says Page is cocky and talks a big game. But he can back it up. But after watching his matches, Charlo knows that he's got a counter to everything Ethan's got. And Hank and Tank come in and they start sort of hyping him up. And Charlo says, yeah, man, there's a unique type of quantum entanglement when it comes to me and the North American Championship. No matter what Ethan does, there's one solution, one constant, one resolution. Shiloh Hill, new North American champion! And he runs out of there, and Hank and Tank are like, yeah, weird guy, isn't he? Good weird, but weird.
But he's a weird guy.
Love those boys.
I like Hank and Tank a lot. Shiloh Hill, your match was completely bang average, bro. Bang average, bruv. Yeah, I cannot watch you in the ring.
But every backstage segment, I can't take my eyes off.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe the new GM might need an assistant or something.
You know, half your ring time if you join a tag team. What about Shiloh Hill and Von Wagner?
Oh my God. Yeah. Get him. Bring him. Hang on. For old time's sake. Where is he? Where are you? Where are you?
Come on.
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday.
That's the best button, really, there.
Yes. Always delivers.
Wagner Watch.
I was really proud when it came out.
I know, man. I know.
Right, Joe Hendry's not happy. He's jumped Ricky Saints earlier. He storms to the ring here. Calls out Ricky Saints for jumping him last week, obviously, post-title match. He's not in the mood for singing and dancing. He's in a kicking Ricky Saints' ass kind of mood. Let's settle this right here, right now. And Saints appears on the platform. Says he sees right through Joe Hendry. He's just a guy with a song and nothing else. We've got a meme as the NXT champion, he says. And he says, all of you lot love Joe Hendry because you can relate. You're all losers. He's an everyman. But being an everyman doesn't make you worthy of being a champion. Having talent does. being the best, being attractive. That's what makes a champion.
Well, I've got problems with this.
Yes. Joe fires back saying, you know what the difference between me and you is? I deal with facts. And the fact is I'm NXT champion and you're not. And that last time I checked, that makes me the best in NXT. And Ricky fires back to saying he's the best at marketing. Everyone's out here singing your song, waving their hands. You just merchandise pulls you are. You're a download DLC on 2K and what have you. You come out in your clothes. He said something like, you come out in your pants and your blazer. Nice clothes, by the way. But I've worked too hard to elevate NXT, and I'll be damned if I'll let you ruin it. And Joe says, well, Ricky, if you're half as great as you say you are, you'll have no problem coming down here and proving it instead of sitting up there like a whiny little bitch. Ricky says, well, since you love marketing so much, Saturday, March 7th, Vengeance Day. Joe Hendry versus...
Is that not just your New Year's Evil voice?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we ever actually worked on it because it was normally around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But March 7th, obviously the big day now. Joe Hendry versus Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship. And Joe Hendry accepts. And he says, I've got no problem kicking your punk ass at Vengeance Day.
Some notes. Okay. First of all, as good a job, I think, so far, early, indications. Joe Hendry is a good WWE mascot guy.
I agree.
Who'd have thunk it? Doing the job well. Thought the match against is it Jackson
Drake.
I
Yep.
always keep wanting to call him Jackson Andrews. I'm my brain is so 40 now. I make these stupid dad brain mistakes constantly.
Why do I know
Jackson Andrews? No, that was the 8-foot tall.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
That was the 8-foot tall associate briefly of Tyson Kidd, Michael.
God, yeah.
So I think Hendry was decent here. He's growing into the role of What are you laughing at?
As you were saying, I was like, why do I know Jackson Andrews as a name? Find him on the Wikipedia page. Little glance, see if I can maybe hit Sidge with a little stat or a fact or whatever. Do you know what his real name is?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Andrew Slocum.
That
writes itself, doesn't it?
yeah, it's like jizzing but slower. Right, let's go on
Did
with
work under the name Steve Slocum as well. Please welcome
Steve Slocum. Right. Hendry, good, fed mascot guy. Who'd have thunk it? Kind of role he was born to play. I always remember Hendry. I've met and worked alongside him for a brief period. Just like he had this personality, this skill set that he's felt like it. Coming to the business a little bit late. It's all about but Kenny Omega and Okada.
Yes, that's a good point.
These days, sadly, and then he's just kept at it, improved. And now the fashion cycle has changed where characters and gimmicks are more over. So fair play, he's played the game incredibly well. He's doing a really promising job, I think, of doing the WWE mascot stuff. The match last week or the week before, very strong. It wasn't the best week for him here, I don't think. You cannot, and I know this sounds so facetious, maybe it's just the trivial nature of the show I cover. You cannot say the word bitch on a WWE TV show and not get the pop. You can't. It's kind of like a failure.
Yeah.
Like a whiny. I don't know if he didn't take sufficient pauses between the words, rushed it, or just didn't wait long enough for Ricky Saints to stop speaking. But he said the word bitch, and I know it's facetious. He said the word bitch on a pro wrestling TV show and didn't get a pop. So that was a bit of a delivery snafu there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Such a weird thing that make what I think is quite a salient point, but I think it's true. He's a handsome guy, Joe Hendry. I don't know what Ricky Saints was saying there.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where Saints' character now has to be so sort of self-absorbed that he just thinks
he's the only good-looking one.
Yeah, and I quite like that. this is a far better version
He's
of
better.
Ricky Starks,
He's better.
Ricky Saints.
Tell you what, though, when somebody else's Stardust rubs off on him, I think it gets even better, but we'll get to that momentarily. And what I liked about this as well, don't know if it was on purpose, and I don't frankly care, because I had the same effect on me personally, felt like you got a little couple of jabs in there that weren't necessarily part of it. Like, Joe Hendry's clever. He plays it very, very safe. Like, I mean, wrestlers are not in the business, unless they're working or unless they're complete idiots, of, like, burying people that might come into the contact with again or on the way up, because you never know who's going to meet on the way down. That's, of all people, Jericho was a big proponent of that, apparently. But Hendry is super positive towards everyone and everything. It's just, he never really says I was frustrated here and I'm better and da-da-da-da-da. He's always like super, super safe in his interviews. And I think Ricky Saints maybe had a little bit of like, oh, you boring bitch. Yeah, I felt a bit of an edge from him when he said those specific things.
I'm not saying that either of these men are like these two men, because it's not fair, but it reminded me when I remember you two telling me years and years ago, this is, about like early days when it was Rock and Triple H going head to head on the microphone, and one of them would go off script and the other one would walk back and be like, how can he get away with that? And they're like, well, if he's getting away with it, you should be able to get away with it as well. And suddenly I think that's what I got there, of like, Joe says, I'll say this, this, and this in the promo, and does so, and Ricky goes, right, and now I'm going to go for your clothes or something like that.
It just felt like that line about, because why... It just felt, when something feels like out of nowhere, it sometimes is. Like, oh, and you know, your stupid safe interviews in media. Yeah, safe answers in media interviews are really annoying.
You're a corporate stooge or
just
whatever.
Felt a little bit like, oh, I'm paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get back to, the match is set for Vengeance Day, and we'll get back to Ricky Saints in due course. Also here, I'll be honest, I haven't really written this next bit quite as verbatim as I did the last one. Izzy Dames watching Tatum Paxley's promo from last week where she's like underwater and stuff and just laughing at it. And she's like, probably going to keep this title for ages.
If anything.
The Cullen, Spearsy and Nico Vance, the wild card. And they go, good one. We'll probably become tag team champions then. That's what I got from all this. Anything else you want to say about it?
Nope.
Good, thought so. Let's get to Cutler James versus Tony D'Angelo, because he ripped his ass. It was awesome. He squashed him in like 2 minutes. Tiny bit of offense, maybe a big boot or a shot in there from Cutler. But D'Angelo got some good release Germans in there.
He's got some good...
Cutler's a big lad.
He's basically playing Bill Lesnar or Brock Goldberg right now.
Yes. Yeah, because he hit a spear, and nothing's going to be Braun Breaker's spear.
It was decent, though.
The power. It wasn't the pace. It wasn't the, bouncing off the ropes like you get from Braun
It was
Breaker.
like that immediate acceleration.
It was the snapback. You don't know, it was just a good sell from Cutler and Dion after
It was
this.
more of like a tackle than...
Yeah, yes.
Like the big WWE theater of the spear, of like Breaker run down the aisle, Edgewood, look like he's demented. He's always demented. It was more just like of a total 0 to 60 burst of acceleration tackle.
I'm not a big rugger guy.
Say that again.
Rugger. But like if the Six Nations is on, I'll watch it, especially if we get to beat Wales, because that's just, yes, please. But I don't really know what's going on. I've never played
England versus Wales.
Yeah, put them in their place. But I do.
Did you enjoy the 3-0 after 20 minutes earlier for the football?
Yeah.
You sound like Booker T, bro.
Gang.
It's like Saka launched it in the top left-hand corner. Gang.
I don't know what it is. Like, all of the home nations love them. Scotland, Northern Ireland. We play them. I'm like, I don't really mind. I like apart from winding up Murray and stuff to beat Scotland and stuff. Wales, I'm like, go. And I've got Welsh mates. I can't be harsh. I've got Welsh mates. Okay, I've been to Wales.
I've been in Wales twice. Lovely both times. Wales.
Hang on. Oh, yeah, I was genuinely at a wedding. It was randomly. It was one of my best mates from back home was marrying a girl from Burnley. And the bloke who was Burnley Bee, or whatever his name is, the mascot for Burnley Football Club, was there as the sort of master of ceremonies. And he genuinely, considering like how Wedding 101, what's a funny joke I can make as a best man or a wedding or whatever? He did it. He did there. Congratulations to Mike and Emma. And I've got to say, I hope they have a great time on their honeymoon in Wales. And everyone's like, Wales? I thought they were going to some tropical island or whatever. And he goes, oh, sorry, I must have got confused. I just heard Mike saying he was going to bang her all weekend or something.
Excellent.
What are we talking about? That was what I was going to say. Rugger. So I don't really know what's going on in rugby. I know how it works, but I'm not like invested in it. I can't like tactically analyse it like what you and I do with any football game, or now apparently the Winter Olympics, considering how much I've fallen in love with that. But like I can appreciate when someone just gets like, oh, they've chucked the ball to him and he's got him, and then just someone flies in.
Crunch.
That's what I can compare this to. So yeah. Post-match. Yeah, sorry. He then huge spine buster to Cutler James for the 1-2-3. Dion Lennox jumps in post-match, but he gets speared, and D'Angelo beats down both of them, chucks Lennox into the barricade, into the ring steps. He's going to smash his leg. He's going to break his leg with the steps, but thankfully, not thankfully, but Cutler James pulls him to safety, and Tony D'Angelo has to be held back. This is phase 1 of his plan complete, basically.
Fun little squash.
Yeah.
Tony D's, post-mafia character. He's still in Shutter Island, everyone. Is actually a bit of a beast in the ring. Who knew? He looks in good shape as well. Like he's flattened that side profile. How'd you do it?
Then, I think this might be the bit... Oh, it might have got you. Ethan Page.
Oh my God.
Is chatting to the Vanity Project. That includes, of course, Jackson Drake and the guys in Swipe Right. That being, I didn't think I could love him more. And then we'll get to this.
Oh my God.
Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes. And Page is hyping him up, being like, you're one win away from fighting for the titles, becoming champions, basically. Just like me and Jackson Drake. Miles Bourne comes in, and Page has heard what the NXT GM, whose name actually escapes me right now.
It's Robert Stone.
He heard what he said to Miles last week, but he says, it doesn't matter what you do. I will never change my mind about giving you a shot at the title, which is quite funny. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Just, you ignore my advice, I said show killer instinct, not just grab the title and smash me over the head with it, basically. All you've shown is frustration. Miles was like, we'll see about that. He leaves. And then, just when I thought this lineup couldn't get any better, Ricky Saints walks in.
Oh my God.
Make this 5 a group now. I know they've interacted before. You're 100% right. Like, we are biased towards your Brad Baylor types, to be honest. And NXT's men's division, aside from certain exceptions, is crying out for just like stars, aura, like you say. Ethan Page, they have to try everything to keep him in NXT because I've no doubt that they want to main roster that bitch. If not before WrestleMania, certainly after. But Ricky Saints walks in. I also saw a clip from there doing like the house show stuff recently. And like there was Ricky Saints must have been in a tag with Ethan Page because they're both in the ring. And Ethan Page is on the microphone. Hey, I see that sign over there. I can't remember if it was Ethan or Ricky, but it doesn't really matter. Ethan Page, he's corn the long way. And Ricky Saints like grabs my, he doesn't even like corn. I was like, this is money. Yeah. Ricky says that, that Miles Bourne, he's the rudest person I've ever met in my life. But I got what I wanted tonight. And, after Vengeance Day, we'll all be champions. But first, Ethan Page, you should break the record for most title defenses. And Ethan Page says, oh, Ricky, you're absolutely right. This is an amazing group.
This 5-person group could have And I mean, like, I'm talking like not like artistically better than Dynamite or more commercially successful than SmackDown or nothing like that, but a transformative impact on the show, how big it might feel, quite frankly, how cool it would feel, because it's so dorky at the minute. There's a lot of dork. No. There's a lot of that in NXT. There's a lot of like mediocre to green to outright crap wrestlers on it. It's not a cool show. It is not a cool show. This could be a really cool transformative act. And when I said in the intro, like 3 years worth of money, have them just be complete dickheads who all think they're handsome, who all think they're the business, who cheat, who get off on themselves. So I'm telling you, man, that energy of like the pro wrestling heel who literally wants to suck themselves off because they're that obsessed with themselves, it's missing. They get hyperactive about it. These five can do that.
And they bounce off each other so well.
They bounce off each other well. There's an evident chemistry there. You can imagine they're actually hanging out backstage. And Ethan Page, who, to be fair to him, is just a really good character actor because, like, apparently he's like a proper wife guy and known, like, inside the business, within the business, is one of the nicest guys. But I don't care. Work me on television otherwise.
Yeah.
You're right. They bounce off each other.
It's a great learning.
Well.
Not this phrase has been bastardized, obviously, from the last few years. But a great learning tree for all of Vanity Project.
Absolutely.
Those two.
And then, you know, you can have them just being like dominant and cool together for the longest time. And then maybe Ricky Saints gets a little bit of jealous of Ethan Page if one of them wins the world title or the other way around. So you could have that kind of split. Like, you could go the Evolution route with Jackson Drake. I mean, there's loads. There's money and there's ideas and there's potential, and they just feel like everything Triple H wanted the vision to look like originally. I'd see in these lads like an actual cool stable of men's WWE wrestlers. It's quite something. I'm very taken with it. Long may it continue. It is funny, considering Ethan Page was considered like a card donor type with a bit more patter and a bit better ring work. Like a Randy Orton, TNA's Randy Orton, like a guy, solid pro, who can, you know, always feels like he's reading off a script. Reading well, but reading off a script. Quite uninteresting. So many characteristics, but not that one thing. Like, he's handsome, tall, can work a good match. Why does it feel soulless, and why do you not have that intangible X factor? It's like he's found it.
Yeah.
And if you told me this time 2 years ago, by the way, they are going to have to pair Ricky Saints with Ethan Page because Ricky Saints needs help getting over. Ricky Starks, I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
That's weirdly what's happened here.
But they're amazing together, those two, and obviously the addition of the Vanity Project, of which Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes were in the next match. It was the four-way to determine the number one contenders. I've watched this finish about 6 times because it makes me laugh every single time.
This was fun, this match.
OTM, swipe right, the culling, and Hank and Tank. Everything breaks down. OTM cleared the ring. Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes thought it was a good idea to try and double choke slam.
That was good.
Bronco Nima and Lucian Price, but of course they actually get, Brad and Ricky get chokeslammed onto everybody else on the outside as we go to a break. When we come back, Lucian Price is on a tear, just wrecking people on the floor. But Nico Vance fights back, but he gets caught in like a double angle slam from OTM. A load of people have to make the save. They set up eventually a quadruple superplex to take everyone down. Then Spears hits a Death Valley driver and goes to win the match, I think, against Brad Baylor. But 1, 2, suddenly Spearsy is yanked out of the ring, or at least yanked off the pin, by Jackson Drake, that other twat from the Vanity Project.
And he's like, oh, I wonder what happened then. He's like...
So he breaks it up. Spears like, goody, you little bastard. In doing that, he's in position for a double curb stomp from OTM. Hank and Tank take down OTM. They drag them off the apron and sort of lift and slam them through the announce table. That flies everywhere. Nico Vance.
I loved how they were both a bit off.
Yeah.
So, like, was it Tank ended up slamming someone just on the floor.
Yeah,
basically
into what was left of the table.
It was good. Added a bit of carnage to it.
Jackson Drake's like, dodge that bullet. Nico Vance comes flying in with a diving headbutt. And all you see, it's amazing this, all you see is obviously Spears, he's down. He's taking a double curb stomp on the apron. He's in the middle of the ring. Brad Baylor is just like the character in Mortal Kombat where they've been finish him. And all Ricky Smokes does is push him and he just goes face first, doesn't put his hands out at all, just collapses on top. 1, 2, 3. Swipe right at the new number one contenders.
This was so much more fun than I had any right to be. And I'll tell you what, considering what the output I've seen from various teams in this match, quite frankly, mostly OTM.
I was going to say, yeah, I think this is a real showcase for
I
them.
thought it was a good showcase for them. The layout flattered them. They executed their spots well. And to be honest, at times it was quite chaotic and intricate as a match. And it could have, looked rubbish at various points. It didn't. Not go out of your way to see, but for an NXT moves match with a lot of moving parts designed to get a little bit of shine to every team with a wacky but, perfectly in character finish for Vanity Project. This was a good bit of business, this. And I tell you what.
Give them the tag titles. It's next week. Give them the tag titles.
They do this thing where the camera follows Vanity Project up the ramp and they have to celebrate wildly, but then it has to go on for a long time. Watch Brad Baylor's face. He's so hyped and I didn't expect that to happen, and I'm doing my big jock stuff. He turns himself cross-eyed at one point because there's no one else to do.
I need to watch this back. I missed that. Well, what followed was a video on Keanu Carver. He grew up in Washington, D.C., and that bad boy played college football because he likes violence and no one can control him. Now he's here to hurt people.
Yeah, I guess he's a heel, so hey presto, it's worked.
He faces Sean Legacy next week.
But he says, when I was in football, the coach, tried to tell me how to where to stand and when to move, and I'm thinking, did you get into this college or did I? It's an institution of learning.
Yeah.
And you do what the coach says.
Also,
clues in the name, and you'll get better.
What I thought of is, do you remember there was that thing a while back where we're not film aficionados in terms of knowing what's going on within the business, like Ewan, for example.
Yeah, WhatCulture, man.
Yeah,
check them out.
He's very, very good. But you remember there was that period where it's another revamp or reboot of Spider-Man, where it's you ever heard about the origin of Spider-Man? Yes, everyone has. Yeah. Every 10 years it feels like they do it. And it turned out that they were having to do it for some sort of studio rights thing of if they don't produce a Spider-Man movie within this amount of time.
I didn't know this. Something
like that anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was something where it's if they don't produce a Spider-Man movie in this amount of time, then they lose the rights to it and it goes to Marvel or whoever, right? Is that the case with the sports person who's too violent for sport and has to come and play wrestling? Cesaro definitely had it, didn't he? He was like a rugby player.
Yeah.
I feel like Ridge Holland must have had it.
was kicked out of the game for being too violent.
Is it a mandatory thing? Because there's others that I can't remember, but I definitely remember hearing that. Because I remember the first time and I was like, that's badass. Because I'm a kid. I'm it's too hard for those loser sports, but don't worry, wrestling's got him. And then I was like, second time, another one, is it? Third time. Again, what?
Yeah.
You're joking, not another one.
Now you just look like you hire failures constantly.
Yeah, just everything. Hey, you too crap for the sport you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Why not try wrestling?
Yeah.
But yeah, how many people? Name some more in the comments, please. I'd love to hear it. Joe chats to the GM of NXT. He wants to kick Ricky Saints.
Robert Stone.
He wants to kick Ricky Saints' ass.
And then, while I'm on the subject, the general manager of SmackDown's Nick Aldis.
Okay. He's had Ricky kicked out of the building, and he tells Joe to leave. Okay. And then it's a real sad moment. Sol Ruka runs into Zarya, and these two former best friends.
Love how extreme she went with her direction here.
Yeah. Yeah, effectively, Sol went, that's obviously awkward last week, because of last week, Sol wins the match for her team, but she gets the title shot and Zarya doesn't. So it's oh, how do I How do I broach this? You're right, Zarya. Piss off!
She literally says, piss off.
She
Piss off, Ruka.
She says she accuses her of stealing all the title opportunities. He says this friendship has been one-sided this entire time. Last week was the final straw. She's done being used, done with this friendship. You fight Fatal Influence all by yourself, and when you're done with that, you can go to hell. The end of Zaruka.
The end of Zaruka. It's funny. And then, off. So she did legitimately, literally say, piss off, Sol.
Rake off.
Rake off. I'll piss off.
So Sol goes into what comes
off.
So into what comes next, all alone. But before we get to her, we have to get to the group kind of running the women's division. That is, of course, Fatal Influence. Talking about Speed Champion Fallon Henley,
yep.
Lainey Reed, and of course NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne. She says she rambles quite a bit here. She says she's actually excited to face Sol Ruka because she's a bit jealous of her. Because no matter what she does, everyone's always talking about Sol Ruka. I've done all this stuff, and you still look at me dead in the face, says Jacy, and say that Sol's a bigger star than me. Last year, I held the TNA Knockouts Championship and the NXT Championship at the same time, holding two brands together. And I won this title off Stephanie Vacquet. And I'm going to be that's the same woman, she says, who's walking into WrestleMania as the WWE Women's Champion right now. And Fallon Henley's about, but wait, JC, who won Female Superstar of the Year? Oh, that's right, Sol Ruka. Last time I checked, Jacy Jayne's the reigning NXT Women's Champion. And Jacy says that's right. I had to sit at home as well on the couch and watch Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match, a man that I idolised my entire life. And who was representing NXT? Not me. It was Sol Ruka. But you know what? I moved on from that day. Doesn't sound like you had, to be honest. But I got the infamous call I was going to debut in the Royal Rumble. And then I do, and I'm amazing in it, she says. Then we'll hear on that 13-hour flight back is, Sol Ruka was in the final three. And Lainey said, yeah, it didn't even matter. She didn't win. Because all anybody can talk about Sol Ruka. And Jacy says she's been shoved in our face, shoved down our throats. Enough's enough. The only reason you haven't got a shot at this title is because you sacrificed your best friend. Next week, Sol, you're not going to have your best friend by your side. And you're damn sure not going to have this NXT Women's Championship. See, I didn't win this title by being flashy and flipping around every 5 seconds. I won this championship because I'm simply the best woman in NXT. And if we're being completely honest here, the most underrated woman in all of WWE today. This brings out Sol Ruka. And she says, yeah, you're right. No one's more enviable of my success than you are. It's been like this for 4 years. Maybe stop comparing yourself to everyone else and stop talking about our friendship, my former friendship with Zarya. Jacy says, you get it. You have to dump your best friend to get to the top. She says, okay, real friends fight, all right. But, you've never had someone who's strong enough to stand by your side without feeling the need to stand in front of you. Zarya doesn't stand in my shadow. She stands on her own, like something you never learned to do. Now you've got your little group. You've got your title. It's not good enough, is it? You wanted this match, and next week I'm going to snatch your soul and become NXT Women's Champion. You came in here toxic. You turned fatal. But when I beat you, that's going to confirm what you deep down already know, and that is Sol Ruka is better than Jacy Jayne. And Jacy slaps Ruka across the face, and they do a 3-on-1 beatdown and outrun Zarya, and you think, and suddenly she pauses, and you think, oh no, Zarya has turned to the dark side. And she says, hold her up for me. I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna get her. Shall I get her?
Oh, get it.
Shall I get her, boys and girls? Right? But at the last seconds, it looks like she's going to attack her former friend. It's a swerve. She jumps Fatal Influence. She beats them all down. She cleans house. She press slams Jacy Jayne out of the ring onto Reed and Henley. And she walks up to Ruka, helps her up and hugs her. They are reunited. Finally, Zaruka back together.
Yeah, they're still going to break up imminently.
Huh?
Might take another 6 months. It's like getting.
I mean, I think it's going to take about 7 days because I feel like Zari has done this quite cleverly. Solruka's a dumbass, but whatever.
to lull her into.
Yeah, she's going to cost her the title next week, isn't she?
Let's hope so. I'm sick of this. They're getting asked if Roxanne Perez is going to.
And I want
the main
Kendall.
roster.
No. I love Solruka, but I want Kendall Gray to be the one to take it off JCJ.
Yeah.
But good stuff, this.
It went on a while. Jace
did.
Jane's always good.
There was also a nice bit, I forgot which part it was, where Solruka did a little homage to thingy.
She did a really good job of putting herself and Sol Ruka over.
Yeah.
Jacy Jane. Good promo.
That's a very good point, actually, because often, certainly, and this is not us commenting on it, this is us commenting on the booking of the leaders, they can get a bit catty, can't they? Whereas what she said here was, I'm class, and yet everyone's talking about you.
Yeah.
Which is
It was
perfect.
really good,
That's why I'm going to take it all away from you next week. Good stuff. Speed tournament final after this. I know you've been looking
It's getting star-studded, the speed tournaments, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Jesus Christ.
The men's speed tournament final was, of course, Eli Knight
Yes.
versus...
Sorry, I was just trying to... Is it raining?
I can't tell. There's a noise sometimes from here, isn't it? That I don't know where it's coming from. But yes, it was...
I can't be asked that. It's been quite pleasant walking into work this week.
Honestly, just the first day or two where you're like, something's different. Wait a second, it's not grey, miserable, and drizzly.
Yeah, or pitch black and...
I'll take cold every day of the week. I don't mind cold.
It's always get a bit of blue.
Yeah, bit of blue fit dads. Happy
I'm
days.
talking about the sky.
Huh? Okay. Ilio Lafleur was the other man in this match. Yeah. Lafleur hit a suplex over the top. It was only 3 minutes. They crash out to the floor. Knight hit a dive. They go back in. They do sort of pinfall reversals. Knight hit a super kick, but he dove into a sit-out powerbomb for 2. Lafleur hit like a springboard shoulder thing, and Vic Joseph said, I don't know what the hell that was, but it knocked him down.
Yeah, still works, still effective.
Knight missed a 450. Lafleur hit missed a 450, and Knight hit a running knee. Goes up top, but Lafleur dragon superplexes him down, but before he can get to the cover, the time runs out. This is speed, ladies and gentlemen, which means for the first time ever, next week, it will be both Knight and Lafleur versus, as Hamlet calls him, Mr. Pots and Pans, Jasper Troy, the speed champion, in a match that could go 7 minutes. 7 minutes away.
Correct. Everyone's saying it. Everyone's saying that, and everyone's saying it like that. This job has broken our brains fundamentally.
Yeah, can't talk.
Yeah, it's all gone. Impossible to care about any of this.
What's the... So, 3 minutes...
You can do the maths. You're good at maths, you.
3 minutes for a qualifier or a normal speed match. 5 for a normal title match, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Unless there was that one match where it's like, we'll just go to a finish. That's just a wrestling match.
Yeah. So 3 + 5 is 8.
Yeah. But no, this is because there's 3 normal match, 5 title match, 5 plus an extra person.
Is that
equals
2.5?
No.
No, it is, because if there's 5 minutes.
Oh,
and
I
two
suppose,
wrestlers,
yeah. I'm doing the difference between 3 and 5, but yeah.
So if you've got 5, so it's like, no, 3 and 5's the difference. That's the way to do it.
But you're right. If you're going to do it as like, well, a 5-minute match between 2 people.
The wrestler has this amount of time to be able to try and win the title. They should get 2.5 minutes as well.
No, apparently not. 7 minutes.
No, but I mean, like,
oh yeah,
it's to make it 7.5 or 6.5, would it be?
Yeah. So yeah, 4-way in theory. If they ever do a 4-way, it would be 9, but it should be 10.
Maybe.
Who cares? We'll talk about it. We'll preview it. Any thoughts about
I mean,
this?
it's a valueless title, and I don't care about any.
I'm sure this will be the one thing that Hamlet goes out of his way to watch, considering his feelings towards Elio Lafleur.
Oh, he loves him.
Miles Bourne runs into Shiloh Hill backstage, and Shiloh tells Miles, "You stay out of my match tonight. I'll give you a shot at the title, but after I beat Ethan Page." Miles appreciates it, but he says, "I do want to beat Ethan Page. I want to prove him wrong." And they start arguing, and the referees have to get involved because Charlotte's match is coming up. And I was thinking, man, I was like, something's missing from this show. And then it arrived. Perfect timing. It's the birthright.
Yeah.
Because Uriah Connors is now, I think, a part of the birthright.
Yeah, he pretty much is. Chasey's completely dead on its arse.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly about to be next week because Uriah Connors is chatting to Charlie Dempsey. Charlie's not keen on all this. He does not trust Lexis King. And they talk about knowing each other for a long time, being cut from the same cloth. And he wants Charlie to think about joining the birthright. And Charlie just walks off. In walks the man of the hour, Lexis King, who I think is the de facto leader of this group. I mean, obviously.
I mean, Stax doesn't have a wrestling parent, so it would make no sense.
No, and he's lost his title now, of course.
I know.
But not to worry, because Mr. and Mrs. Stax still have one title between them.
Yes.
Ariana Grace is now TNA Knockouts champion. Missed that over the weekend or whenever it was. Unfortunately, we're not as up on our weekly TNA as we used to be 3 weeks ago.
I did one review.
The best though, so many of these things. I have a lot of fun every day with you two. Well, three of us, 4 of us even.
And you all.
Yeah, but I'll just go. Oh yeah, it's been a good week this week, and that will stay with me for a long time. That review, I'll go back and listen to it.
There's certain episodes that I'm like, yep, that was Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's set, to be fair, we're on a bit of a run.
Yeah, we are. Like, if anyone else could comprehend our patter, I would enter it for, like, podcast awards.
I know,
but then people would listen and be like, does this come with a manual?
Yeah.
I suppose I could send them the list of bits that Matt Steele made.
Indeed.
So just like, listen to this, but also you might need this handy pamphlet.
I like how it's like, who is it? Who is it that's got the law guy who has to... George R.R. Martin apparently has got a law guy who knows more about the works of George R.R. Martin than George R.R. Martin.
Really?
To, like, keep him, like, if I write this, will it contradict this? Or have I forgotten anything here? It's like, actually, yes. Like, we need a law Bible to understand the podcast. So what you're saying is just as good as a Song of Fire and Ice.
Yeah. Yeah, and we stick the landing. That's the difference between...
Good, you're good at finishing, aren't you?
I like to think so. Yeah, so Lexis walks in with Stax and the new TNA Knockouts Women's Champion Ariana Grace.
Yeah.
Lexis says, the birthright is gaining ground with every passing week, which is a normal sentence everyone says.
I mean, it's more a case of like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, having one. Never mind.
Well, they've added a new member, so ipso facto.
Yeah, ipso facto.
And he says, Lexis, I think Charlie's still thinking about it, but Lexis tells Uriah he's going to have the chance to prove himself next week when he faces his old friend and technically still a member of JCU, Cale Dixon. And Uriah says, well, have I got to prove anything Stax hasn't done? Stax says, whoa, pal. He says, I'm marrying into royalty. And Ariana Grace says, that's right. I'm the TNA Knockouts champion. And scene. Oh, sorry. I got to take this.
I didn't see any glare in your glasses, though.
I got it it was on the watch on the...
Why did you look at your phone, then?
I just felt...
Who's ringing you?
I'm picking up good vibrations. I've got to take this. I'll be back. You tell us your thoughts.
Who is it, though?
I don't want to talk about it. I'll be back. I'll see you later. Bye. Sorry, everybody. Excuse me, everybody.
My thoughts on what?
Sorry, I'm just going to make sure that, yep, everything's all set for your part.
My thoughts on what?
Birthright.
I don't really have any thoughts on that. What do I have thoughts about in general? Footballer. Genuinely a very salient point to make. It does not matter how obnoxious you find a footballer's celebration. Nothing justifies racial abuse. Really awful scenes from the Champions League last night. In other fixtures, though, Galatasaray, Juventus was an absolute banger. What just a goal fest. Juventus completely lost their heads. If they get 1 goal back, Juventus in the second leg, like the Champions League, right? And I'll bring it back to wrestling for that ass, is the modern football equivalent of the New Japan resurgence years, where the matches are long and back and forth, but they are of the highest quality. The drama is end to end. By the time you get to the last 20 minutes of these Champions League knockout stages, the very best ones, like Liverpool, Barca, was a Barca PSG, absolutely unbelievable. So I've come to really love the Champions League as an institution. It was disgraced last night. Mourinho, I was not happy with him. Not happy with Benfica. Just a deplorable night for football when this season has been really otherwise enjoyable in its own bizarre way. Less of that. Don't piss me off, football. I get pissed off enough by wrestling, goddammit. Okay? Hey, it's Staxy!
Hey, what the hell is everybody, huh?
Wilborn's gone out, presumably to continue conducting his affair.
I really doubt that guy's having an affair. I think he's a very loyal and happy husband, if anything, from what I've heard.
He just keeps disappearing suspiciously during the middle of podcasts.
Almost
Almost as if he gets a window, because if you're conducting an affair, you can't just do it when you want, because the idea is you're meant to be doing the correct thing at all times. So if you get an opportunity to conduct the affair, you have it there and then, leaving your colleagues in the lurch. You can't just do it at like, I really fancy rogering my missus, my other missus. I'll give her a good porking at like 8:30 in the morning, because that's the time you got to go to work. You can't do it like 9:20. That's the point. You're supposed to be like knee deep in your work, but like a little afternoon on, pretend I'm making a cup of tea. Roger alert, and he's doing something with his school, with kids' school.
Anyway,
He doesn't go to school anymore. That would be weird.
Anyways,
He should go to school, learn how bad WWE is, and learn about brainwashing and stuff, but he doesn't really go to school.
Happy National Condom Week!
Oh!
Again, we did this last time. You know what? God damn it slipped my mind. What the hell is the deal with condoms, huh?
Well, a condom, a prophylactic, it is crucial in preventing the transmission of sexual diseases and from preventing pregnancy that you don't want. And it is a little rubber. It's not rubber, but like you when you put it on. Well, how do I do that? So you got a little ring around, a little rubber ring, and you all the way down there, and then you ejaculate in it, and then you very slowly pull out. Don't get accused of lurking. And then, ipso facto, you don't get no diseases and no unwanted babies.
You mentioned that, actually. I was making love to Ariana recently, my missus, and after she won the TNA Knockouts Championship. I'm not sure if you know about that. And she said afterwards, hey, Sexy, if I get pregnant, what should we call the baby? And I slid out of her, took off the condom. Slid out of her, took off the condom, tied a knot in it, and chucked it in the trash. I said, well, if he can get out of that, we'll call him goddamn Houdini. Three questions, three jokes for you, Sidgwick.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you call a balloon animal made out of a condom?
A horse cock.
Oh, pretty goddamn close. Not right, though. What do you call a balloon animal made out of a condom? A Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Question joke number 2. What is the best form of protection when you don't have a condom?
Abstinence.
Good, not right. What is the best form of protection when you don't have a condom? Give her a fake name. Question joke number 3.
Jesus Christ, dude. Staxy.
Question joke number 3.
Staxy.
What do my missus and a condom have in common? Been in the hospital past. I gotta admit with that one, Sidgwick.
Nonetheless, I will endeavor my internal quest. I like being correct and I like to win. It's a fatal flaw of mine. Set up again, please, bro.
What do my missus and a condom have in common?
I I chucked them both away after sex.
Good night, right?
Oh!
Women aren't objects.
Oh, shut up, man. Shut up, man.
Come on, Siggy. We can't talk about.
Yeah, okay. That's a lesson learned from Stags.
What am I misses in a condom have in common? Go king, go king, go king. That's what I like to say. No, it's not the punchline.
I thought, what? Look, it's A writing these jokes. Set up, come on. You can do this.
What do my misses in a condom have in common? They spend more time in my wallet than on my dick. See you later, guys.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bye, Stacks. What you doing?
Huh? Just on the phone.
To who?
Just wanted to send the Mrs. Sunflower just a reminder how loyal and how much I love her. So.
Okay, you missed Stacks again.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah, no, he's in rare form.
Good.
Just have to deal with condoms.
Oh, man. It's because it's National Condom Week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where are you up to?
I skipped over the birthrights or whatever happened after them. I don't hate the birthright. It was a nothing week for them.
Yeah, we're in the NXT GM's office.
I think they're in the waiting for David Finlay to decide his next move. phase of the birthright.
I think it's John Oldfield tweeted me over the weekend being like, so let me get this straight. David Finlay is going to WWE and the Iconics are in AEW. What the hell's going on?
One company needs better wrestlers. The other one doesn't need any more good wrestlers. It's fine.
Yeah. So we're in the NXT GM's office. He's chatting to Fallon Henley, and he's trying to set up a speed tournament because it's been ages since we had a speed tournament. It's been what? A match ago since we had that. And yeah, he wants to organise more matches for Henley as the speed champion. When in walks Blake Monroe. And she's informed that Jada Parker, after last week, is suspended for attacking security and officials and stuff last week. And she declares that not SmackDown. Sorry, I don't know why I've said that. The NXT GM, whose name actually escapes me,
Robert Stone,
is the best GM in the world. He says, in all seriousness, no, she's actually not cleared because of a neck injury. Thought it was an accident, but maybe not. Anyway, doesn't matter. Tell you what, Blake Monroe, why don't you compete in the speed tournament? And your opponent will be Thea Hale.
Remember when, and it was only a matter of months ago, Blake Monroe said something to the effect of, I need to invoke Hamlet here, yep. Butter my arse, darling. People have a habit of not using me correctly. Why are you doing a dig at Tony Khan, who couldn't have booked you any better and who booked you significantly better than what you're doing now? I will say this. If everything was going hunky-dory with Blake Monroe, with the level she was brought in at and the expectations received of her and everything went as people thought it was going to go, she would not, under any circumstances, be going for the speed title. Like, it feels like, I don't want to say old-fashioned punishment booking.
They gave Ricochet and Andrade the speed title on their way out.
Yes, I don't think it's punishment booking where it's like the idea is to humiliate this person, to embarrass them, or like otherwise just like insult them or whatever. It would, if I'm Blake Monroe and in our seat, I'm going for the speed title on like my format sheet or whatever. If I'm not taking it as a punishment or an insult or I'm in trouble, I'm taking it as a kick up the arse.
Yeah.
Like a kick
yes,
up
you're right.
the arse.
After this, Dark State warn everyone that they're going to get revenge for everything that's happened and defend their tag titles next week, etc., etc. And then Zaruka are backstage and they're sort of back together and all happy. Zarya said she realised that they wouldn't be where they are without each other, basically, and says, you need to win the women's world title next week. She's laying it on thick. But as they are talking, Miles Bourne storms past them, announcing he knows what he must do now. And that brings us to our main event of the evening for the North American title.
Looks like we made it.
Ethan Page versus Shiloh Hill. Ethan Page sort of tries to do his usual, tricks and hammerlocks and what have you. And as he said, Shiloh Hill has a counter for absolutely everything. And it starts frustrating Page. He's like, side headlock. Hill hits a headlock takeover. He goes for the arm and he goes behind him. Page picks a leg, but then he gets drop toe hold. Page is just getting really angry. So he yells.
2008 Edge, this lad.
Yeah. Hill shoves Page out of the ring. So Page just grabs a chair, slides in the ring, but as he's sliding in the ring, he's obviously putting the chair down. And as he does that, so even Shiloh Hill even has a counter for cheating.
Yes.
Because he slides out simultaneously and puts the chair back, and suddenly Page is like, was that chair I just had? And Page grabs Hill by the hand and pulls him up. He eventually manages to knock him down. But Shiloh pops up, standing Superman punch. He sets Page on the top rope and hits a running knee strike, sending Page out to the floor. Page, what the hell's going on here? He grabs his title belt this time. Again, slides in. But as he does that, Shiloh Hill slides out, taking the belt with him, and goes to put it back on its stand. But the brief second he takes, just let's put it back in its place. That allows Page to sort of see his opening, kicks Hill to the floor, and he thinks, right, I've got it now. But suddenly, again, Shiloh counters and kicks Page in the face. So out come the boys, the Vanity Project, to cause a distraction as we go to our final break of the evening. When we come back, right, okay, normal surface is resumed. Page hits a big boot, gets a 2 count. Swinging neck breaker gets 2 more. Power slam, another near fall. And he's like, right, that's not worked. Boys, you know what to do. They expose the concrete. They pull the mats back outside. And Page wants his ego's edge on the floor. But Shiloh Hill escapes. They get back in the ring. Page ducks a clothesline from Hill and hits a code breaker, confidence breaker. But this is sort of the fire-up spot for Shiloh Hill. We see a close-up of him. Suddenly, out come the false teeth. He's dropping the straps, basically. Fires up. And as we call, to be fair, as Page is there doing his little taunt, Shiloh Hill, toothless Shiloh Hill, pops up behind him to do the exact same thing. He runs wild. Clothesline, sidewalk slam, standing front flip. Vanity Projects are like, oh, bollocks. They jump on the apron. He knocks them all down, chucks them around on the outside, but he doesn't see Ethan Page come in, who hits the twisted grin on the concrete. Back inside, another twisted grin. 1, 2, 3. Let's pause there and we'll do the post-match afterwards.
I thought your reading of it was so passionate and good, and I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the match.
Okay.
I saw what they were trying to do with it. There was I thought they told a neat story. They put a lot of thought into it in their own stupid way. Elements of this were completely dumbassed in the extreme, but the thought about it, they did a very NXT match. Shiloh Hill is a very NXT dude, and it felt like, when I always said the show's been rubbish since it came on TV. In one way or another, I've never rated this television program. I haven't really rated
a weekly product.
I haven't really rated it as TV or as well booked genuinely since about 2017. 2018, I liked it a lot at the time. It's aged in a way, but anyway, that's all by the by. However, I did concede that when Hickenbottom was at his peak, and if you look at the week to week, and even Meltzer was putting this over, he was like, Vince, man, this is great stuff. Freaking Mr. Stone. The Von Wagner character building. I was like, they put a lot of effort and thought into this rubbish.
Yeah.
It's like when your child makes a drawing. It's like, it's obviously not good. You're not going to sell it anyway. You're probably waiting for an excuse to go, well, the coffee table drawer we usually stuff it in is getting full. That one could just go in the bin. But they've put some work into it. It was a bit like that. Mm-hmm. This match was a bit like that. This launch of Shiloh Hill It's reminiscent of the days when NXT put a lot of thought into how rubbish it was going to be that week. And like the plotting of like Kiana
James?
James, the assistant love story, and
Yeah.
they put a lot of effort into it all across the board. It just feels like
She's the workhorse of the main roster now, Kiana James.
I know.
She's unbelievable recently.
Nowadays it just feels like I'm watching TNA.
Okay.
Not much budget, not much thought, not many crazy stories.
Well, money's tight, to be fair, mate, in WWE.
Should have.
It is ridiculous that they've cut back on all the stuff that was...
It just feels like this dude is a project and they care about
Yeah.
him. It's never going to be for me.
I like that, because at the end of the day, it was like, you're going to fight well, you're going to do the fire spot, like we said, and you're going to lose. He's not beating him.
They seem to like him.
He's, they're going to do this so Ethan Page can say he's a record breaker before potentially... Well, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the fact that they were like, yeah, but he doesn't just have to lose. He can show that, barring outside interference, and even more so, even more than just like, oh, he's done well. Like, he had his number on everything.
Yeah.
Even if it's cheating. I thought that was really clever. Anyway, post-match, Vanity Project are like, so we're allowed to get involved properly now. Beat up Shiloh Hill, stomp on him. And here, I love this guy. I want him to do well. So I'm like, kind of like, go on, Miles. Miles
You
Bourne
like
runs down.
Miles
Yeah, I
Bourne.
like him a lot. He runs down to make the save. He wrecks everybody. Power slams Drake. Drake gets yanked out of the ring. Shiloh Hill at this point is recovered enough to hit like a somersault plunger basically to the outside. And Bourne, prick, Ethan Page, beats down Ethan Page. And he's like, give me a shot at the title. Give me a shot at the title. And Ethan Page, despite the fact he's getting his ass handed to him, he's like, oh, you're not getting a shot at the title. Like I said earlier, you're not good enough. You don't deserve it. And I think Shiloh Hill slides in a chair. The chair's in the ring, basically. And Miles Bourne's like, you're going to make me do it, aren't you? I don't know why you're going to make me do it, aren't you? I don't know why he's suddenly gone cockney. He wraps it around his ankle, and he's like, oh, just break your ankle. Give me this title shot. And Ethan Page's like, you ain't got the nuts.
It's not in your character to do that.
Exactly. And he's like, give me that title shot. And he jumps to do it. And as he's in midair, again, Ethan Page is brilliant timing-wise at this. Wait. Okay, you got your title match next week. Just please don't break my ankle. And Osborne's like, whew. And he goes to leave. This is what makes Ethan Page great. Because you've lost, dickhead. You've won the title. But you've had to give away your title match. But he has to still be the one, the smartest guy in the room. So still with a chair wrapped around his ankle, as Miles Bourne is still in the ring, Miles Bourne turns away and Page says, I knew you wouldn't do that. And he like starts berating him again. And Miles Bourne's like, sod it, jumps, brings it down. Crunch. Bro, he doesn't break his ankle, obviously, but he pulmonizes the ankle of...
that means he breaks it, but,
Yeah.
We'll be fine next week.
Yeah. He 1 week pulmonizes the ankle of Ethan Page, and he's writhing around grabbing it as Miles Bourne stands tall over him with the title belt to close out this show. He's got his title match next week.
Hey? He's probably going to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, he stood tall with the title at the end of the show. That's normally not a great sign. But nevertheless, go on, Miles.
Yes. Not one of the worst things I've ever seen from NXT this week.
And that is all I'm really working for every week.
I don't have to work for them.
Huh?
You're getting paid by them.
I wish. Imagine. Take this to the next one. Turn it to 11.
Yeah. What are we on now? Jesus Christ.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts on NXT in the comments section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick, and I know.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Dynamite preview is available right now, but for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick, to Stax. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.